Hey everyone, welcome back to Extensive DIY. I'm Sean, and today we're going to be talking about installing a new boiler. We've been in the house about 3 years now, maybe just a little bit less, and this has been on the list for some time to get installed. And what I really wanted was a hydronic system. We're up here in northeastern Pennsylvania, and I have this forced hot air system, very loosely piped in here. Actually, this has been working for us for, like I said, a couple years now. So let's just start at the beginning. This is our air handler for the air conditioning, but we have heating coils in it as well. So we have an electric backup heating system for in case we run out of propane, and this system or goes down or something. But I have had boilers go out before, and I travel a lot, so the new boiler will be set up in a way that we can take and switch back and forth between the electric in case we ran out of propane for some reason, or there was a failure with the boiler for some reason, or you know, stay on the boiler just directly all throughout the winter. So in addition to that, we'll have the water heater. This is an electric water heater here as well, and we're going to have an indirect fired water heater that's going to go over in this area somewhere once this one gets removed. So we'll end up getting that plumbed in. There's two lines that are actually going to run over to the other side to feed that that water maker there. So we got a bunch of the fittings. Most of the stuff that's on this table, with the exception of these copper fittings and some other minor stuff here, this came with the boiler. Pressure relief valve, outdoor sensor, those kind of things, but some 1.25" fittings as well. How they want you to pipe it out. So came with a circulator pump, which was nice, and the rest of the stuff that I have here is stuff that I purchased in process of doing this. So make sure I had enough stuff to keep going. I didn't want to use the black pipe at all, but since they came with the fittings, they came with a boiler, and you know, like this 1/4 inch, I'd have to buy that one. I'd have to fill the ends here with 3/4 inch female adapters for the low water cutoff and the boiler drain. So I figured, you know what, I have them. I'm going to use those up first and start to get this plumbed in. And we're going to follow the header design that they have. So if you buy this from Weil-McLain, it's like $700, and we're going to take and mimic that, and we'll show you how we did that. Of course, we have the install manual for reference, and yeah, so let me get set up here and we'll get started. All right, well, it's been a long 2 days. We it doesn't look like we got very far, but I'm doing everything out on the bench here. So a couple things to note is that on the return right here, if you can see it, the boiler loop return, if you're going to use the domestic hot water, you have to have this flow check in here, and I didn't have one that was vertical. I only had one that was horizontal, so I ended up having to go back and redo this. I was going to press all these fittings, and then actually the boiler came with quite a few of them, so I decided to use up what I had. This is that flow check here, so when the domestic hot water comes back in this side to return, it doesn't try to backfeed through the boiler loop. So come out here, and we've been putting everything together on the bench, so I'm just about to put this out there. What we have is the which is this one, that is the pressure, and then this is the blow off, and then I think that one's a boiler drain, or no, I'm sorry, that's the low water cutoff there. So ended up sweating them and just wasn't turning out fantastic. So ended up using the press fittings, and wow, that was the first time for them, but they were very, very easy to use. So this is the domestic hot water, which necks down to 1 inch, and then we have a shut off because I don't have the water tank here. But let's take this in. Had to set the camera down when I put that header, or yeah, the union piece back on. Ended up having to take it back off a couple more times anyway, but ended up getting a crimp fittings there, a reducer down to 1 inch, and a shut off that I had. I'll clean up all this stuff, make it look real nice. It'll still work the same, but make me feel better. So this is our spacing, can be no more than 12 inches. I think we're somewhere around like 8-ish for our boiler loop. And I'm just about to crimp the top pieces on here, so I'm going to set you down. Well, we're well, it's afternoon actually, the next day, and this morning I ended up having to move this boiler back about 4 inches, so I ended up taking the unions off. The only one that was connected was the feed for the water maker here, the water heater, and I ended up rebuilding that one and then using the other one down the bottom and piping that one in. That's all crimped in. These are all set up, that's ready to go. I've been going back and forth quite a bit, so that took a couple hours to get it set up the way we needed. And what was going on was the tank was too close to the wall and it actually hit over here. Still's hitting, and this is just mocked up, but what we have is the spiral vent for taking the bubbles out of the system, the air out of the system, automatic vent. And I'm just thinking here, but this one is going to be shortened up. These are not crimped yet, so these two are going to be short, or this pipe is going to be shortened up about 1 inch to give us the clearance back here so that the tank doesn't hit anymore. And this is what I came up, this took some time to mock up. This combination allows to vent for the tank and then to purge it out. If you needed to replace the tank, you can then shut this one off. I'm sorry, leave this one on, shut this one off as it comes down, and then open this to purge it out, purge the air out, and then you could spin it off. And then this would be the automatic fill on this side, pressure reducing, backflow preventer, and we'll have a shut off going this way for the water system feed into the boiler. So I'm going to take it apart here and get everything over on the bench and put it together. I think the last I left off here, I mocked this up and getting ready for the expansion tank here. And I got this set yesterday. pressure reducing, backflow, and press fitting up to PEX, tapped into one of the water lines I have over there for the boiler feed. So off of the air separator, now we're coming in, and I'm going to put a radiant zone here in the front. Actually, this is not just a zone, this would be for the manifold that will supply both the upstairs and the downstairs here. So this is what I did for this manifold that will do the high temperature zones. Blocked off every other one. It was easy because it was actually decently cheap. And what I have is, where are they? Right here. These guys are going to go on like this. I'll use the butterfly valve on the side to give me the clearance that I need, and every single other one will be a flange for a circulator. So I'm going to do that now. Get it mocked up first. I'll probably put these on here, make sure that I'm going to put the threads in, and then I'll come back and I'll crimp each one. I have 5 zones that I need, and we'll have one at the end just for good luck, just in case. So you never know when you might need one and you don't want to add on. So it'll just be capped off. I'll take this, I'll close it, and then I'll shut it off and tie it onto the side. So it'll be there in case needed. On the other side, I got the shut off for the return side. The return side is going to come in here. It's going to 45 back towards the wall, and then this will be half of one of these. So because the returns can be much closer, I'll just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then cut it in half. I'll have that for something else, future something, who knows. But it'll be a lot closer in here. I do have that outlet to contend with. I don't think I'm going to do anything with it other than probably swap it out for a ground fault. So in addition to getting the water line done, I also got the electric run permanent. So it was coming down the wall here originally and just tacked on the outside. I didn't know exactly where I wanted it, so I left some extra loop. But this was the box that was on the wall. It's actually coming from behind. I have cut a hole in the side and put the feed back through the back side. So this one is powered up now. The relay box set for both the thermostats and the circulators, and that'll just take care of these circulators. The boiler will take care of the boiler circulator and the circulator for the domestic hot water. So I'll be working to get the thermostat lines in. They're currently back there, and get them wired in, and then once I get my circulators on here, I'll work to get the circulators wired in with 120 volts. So from here, I actually have a shut off here, and this is just for this box and right now this furnace, but I'll take out this whip, remove that once this furnace goes away, and that'll just control that relay box. And then it's running, the extension from behind is running back over, the power is running over here to another a shut off for the boiler. So the boiler is hot right now. We'll turn that back off, but at least we have power there. We'll need to run a line out to the circulator, which I'll do in a minute. And I'll end up getting a metal plate for this, but this is one I had right at the moment, so it's okay. Yesterday I started putting this manifold together, and I stopped because the fittings on here, I knew some of these are loose. These are Viega. They're not Chinese, but they've got movement in them. See, they tighten up a little bit with a little pressure on there, but they had more movement than I would have liked, and so I stopped. And my father took them down to the plumbing supply shop that we have here, and they said sometimes that happens. It's normal. So what I did was I rigged up some stuff so that I wouldn't lose the entire manifold if I decided to go and use the other half on the return side. So I rigged it up so that I can put this under pressure and see if there was any leaks. And I just opened up the fill valve a little bit more than, you know, what the standard 15 psi is. I think it's at like 20 some right now, 22. And I did have a couple leaks right here because I didn't tighten them at all, so I forgot. The air separator's working just great. Eliminated all the air out of the system. However, I do have a little bit of a drip there, so I'm going to keep my eye on that. Worst case scenario, actually I have to pull it back out, but or take it apart and rebuild it, or something. Maybe when it heats up it'll actually seal up. So I'm not close to, so I got pressure in the system, no leaks anywhere so far, which is fantastic, except for the spiral vent. These are holding, which that's the one I was really concerned about. I put this union on here just in case, because if I crimped it on, then I'd have to lose everything that was over on the right hand side. And since this is not a customer, this is my own, I decided that I was going to put the union on there. Worst case, I can actually replace that entire piece. So I don't love where this takeout box is now that I put everything in here, but I might just take and move that down. Unfortunately, probably just move it to the other end of the box, keep the outlet where it is, the switch where it is, and just move the box down to the other end. I think I'll probably do that, actually. Not to expect that there'd be any spraying or anything else, and that's why I put this valve at the end, just spun out just a little bit. So it's taking up more room than I'd like, but I needed the room for the shutoffs. Otherwise, if I put them together, the circulators would never fit here. So could have went with zone valves. I do just like this better. So anyway, that's it. Be back in a bit. Well, I've been away about a month, and I just got back a couple days ago, and was able to get the rest of the flanges on and the circulators in. This is pretty much done. I need to extend these out. I'm going to do a 45 back to the wall, and then run my lines right in. And there'll all be PEX lines running from all the baseboards here. So I would say the feed side is just about there where I need to be, and I'm going to focus on this side, which is the return. I've got a 45 on here going back towards the wall, and then the return manifold will sit there. So I got the returns in, and I ended up polishing the pipe before I put it in this time. I probably should have done that for the other ones because they're going to be a lot harder to do. And it's definitely taken some elbow grease. I have a orbital buffer that I was trying to use on it, but it didn't really work that well because the paste is a little bit thick. So by hand it is, I guess. So the returns are done. The PEX will come down and run into there. I left this one empty for expansion because I don't really need it right at the moment. I got the feed for what will be, this is actually the return, that's the feed side for the mixing valve that'll go to the radiant manifold. And I'm starting to work on these guys now. Putting them together, mocking them up, putting the van hangers on, and then crimping them. So, but it's taken a lot of time because I'm polishing these as well before putting them in. So, okay, I want to take a short pause and show you what I've been doing here. I got my thermostat lines in, and if you could see them, they're these little 1000 ohm resistors. These are Nest thermostats that are up there. So we have red and white that are connected. Let's see if you can see that. And then between the white and the common, there's a 1000 ohm resistor to steal power. So for Nest, you're gonna have to set them up that way. Other thermostats, you could wire the C directly in. In fact, other, like this furnace that I have here, I connect C directly to C and it's not a problem. So this is live right at the moment. All the thermostats are turned off. None of the zones are calling for heat. And I've wired in 5 circulators and everything looks good there. Hot, neutral, all the way down. And I ended up going with, I call it BX. I think it's NM cable. NM? I think. Anyway, I got my first circulator wired in here. The next ones, I was going to show you what I'm doing. And have the covers off all of them. It's a little tight in here, so I'm not going to be able to show you really well what's going on. But I took a, where is it? I don't know where I put it. Anyway, took a right angle connector, and if you could see that, I put it up in place, and I took a marker and I marked the bottom of it, and then I marked the top of it where I want to cut. So I'll take the back off, which I have. I don't know where I put it. Maybe I dropped it. And I'll cut them, I'll put them into the connector, and then I'll put the connector through, and then I'll finish wiring these up. And I'll do these 3 because it's a little hard to show you, and then I'll show you on the last one when I get to it. Alright, so this is the last one. I got the cover off. I just cut this to length, or what I think was close, and I'm just taking the connector, putting it in, and giving myself just a little bit of a service loop, not much at all actually. And since this is the last one, I'm just going to mark the top where I need to cut it. And this one's got all kinds of marks on it, so it's hard to see, but that's where we want to be. I'll get my cutter here in a second. Take this back off the wall so I have some room to play with it. Not gonna be able to show you this, but this is the cutter here. Maybe it's in the shot. Alright, I want to be right there. I'll take this plastic piece. I always put the closed side towards the part that sticks up. I think that's where it needs the most protection. I keep bumping the camera. It's right in the way of where I need to be. Yeah, of course I bumped it right off. Let's try that again. Shine a little bit more light on the situation here. All we're doing here is taking white to white and yellow to black. Why yellow? I have no idea. There you have it. All of the circulators are wired in. Got everything nice and dressed up. And I think I'll probably wire in this circulator next. That's going to go to the boiler. And the boiler is going to have to be wired to the relay box. Just so when the zone calls for heat, then the boiler knows to circulate and fire. Okay, update is I just got the pump wired up. I ran another piece of armored cable. Keep on to call it BX, but I think BX doesn't have ground. That comes in, wires to the boiler right over here. They don't give you much of a connection there, but I snipped this one down. These are in there. They're just they're stripped back a little bit long, which I'm not too worried about that at all. And then I also took out, there's a it seems loose. It is loose. Good thing I checked it. That's the low water cutoff. I'll have to check that one. It's in upside down. No. You had to take this little bit of a loop plug over off and stick this one in. Doesn't seem to want to stay in there. I want to break the board. I think that's on there. Didn't hear it snap, but not much. They don't give you a lot of wire here, so I came out through the top over here, and I'll try to dress this up as best I can. It's not a great run, but well, it is what it is. So I'm going to put the cover on here. I need to wire up some sensors that I'll probably do next, and I'll show you what they look like. There's an outdoor sensor. There's some temperature on the pipes sensor, and I think I'm missing one, but I'll let you know what that is. Yesterday got this boiler out of the way. I'm sorry, got the furnace out of the way that's here. Ran our gas piping from where the old connection was down over to the boiler. I still need some clamps on here, but just tested it. Everything is leak-free, thankfully. And we're going to work on putting in the propane orifice in the gas valve here. So, all right, everyone. So, real easy to change out the orifice on this and change it to propane is what I'm saying. Add the orifice. There's 3 bolts on the side here where the red marks are. Red is just to say that it was tight at the factory. So it's one here, one there, and one behind it. So real easy. Once you take them off, it says 5mm. It's actually 4. Once you take it off, there's this little rubber grommet here. That orifice goes right inside there. And just carefully make sure it's sealed here correctly. Tighten it back up and it should be done. And here's the sensors, what they look like. Just using 2-wire thermostat wire here. I think it's 18 gauge. And there's a spring in the back here. And they want you to put it no less than 6 pipe diameters away, whatever that may be. It's, for us, it's about 9 inches, and no more than 3 feet down the pipe. So I'm going to put this one right here. It has a, once you connect it, put it through, put the top on, and then it comes with a zip tie to just, you need to force the spring against it, against the pipe. So I have both the wires running in. This one up top is up here. I have both the wires running in through the grommet on the side here, and it goes over to P14, which is right here. It's a blue connector, it says P14, and the 2 outside are going to be independent, and then the one on the inside takes a common from both of them. So I'm going to take the white from both of these wires and plug it into that one, and then we'll plug it into P14. All right, finally ready to get this thing fired off and see if all the hard work paid off here. Let's see, my light is going out. Got the condensate drain on. There's a little bracket here to hold this piece in. There's a little ball in there, so when condensate comes out, it actually acts as a little trap, comes out, and then down into our floor drain here. I have this line is over to the relay board on the TT terminals, so to tell the boiler when to turn on when we're calling for heat. These 2 guys into P14 are the sensors for the temperature coming in and out of the boiler, and then we have the outdoor sensor in P10 right over here in the end, and that's outside underneath the soffit. They want it north facing. There's a little bit of a gauge there. I think what they really don't want is direct sunlight and no water, so the orientation, you know, if you're putting it on the wall, then it would be from the top, so nothing could leak inside. So we're just about to fire this off here. Give me just a second, and we're gonna do it. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, we're gonna troubleshoot. All right, here we go. I just turned a thermostat up for my son's room, and we can see it's calling for heat right at the moment. Turn the gas on. Single boiler. Fuel type is propane. Yep, we accept. High altitude, no. We're about 1,600 feet. I'll have to look at that one, but let's go down through the start wizard. Input 1, heat thrust of hot water. So we have fin tube baseboard. What type system is priority 1? Might have to go back through this one again. Supply max, supply min. Run boiler pump, yes. Not used. Not used. 1256, I think it's about right. I think we can skip this one. Isn't that fancy? Lockout air pressure. So had a couple things going on. One, that air switch lockout was P7. It's just from the factory, so there was nothing there. I did a reset on the boiler itself. Came out with a low water cutoff issue, which I think I have a problem with the end of the plug here. I'm going to try to fix that in just a bit. I put the loop plug back in there for now, just for testing out the boiler. Cleared that one, and then, but it wouldn't fire. So went back and took a look at the inputs, and assigned inputs here had TT1, input 1 TT1, which is what we wanted. I had it on 15, which this turns out is input 2, and P11, this gray one right here, if you could see it. Let's see if I can. That gray one, the last two, I ended up putting that, that's input 1, and that takes the TT from the relay. So, the circulator started. Ooh, we're firing. It is, it's hot. Love it when a plan comes together, right there.
Nice.
All right, we'll give it a couple minutes here, let it warm up. I have the zone still open. We'll see if we're getting heat up there, and we'll be done. Hey, here we are about a couple months later, and we're out of the heating season, but everything else seems to be working just fine. We ran it for about a month or two before, and didn't have any issues. The last part of the video, we had a problem with a lockout that ended up being the low water cutoff, and one of the pins inside the connector was bent. So once that was fixed and connected back in, everything's working just fine. I have two zones in high temperature for master bedroom and the garage that need to be finished, but everything else seems to be working just fine. Need to do our underfloor heat in low temperature. That'll be part of another video that we'll do probably another couple months at least. So anyway, yeah, it's working great. It took a little bit longer than expected, but I'm really happy how it turned out. Need to change out that bracket there, but got everything pretty much solid. And really happy how it looks and turned out. So if you did like this video, please hit that like button, and subscribe if you'd like to see more videos like this one.